you have to reach where? Yes, para-aortic lymph nodes. From para-aortic lymph nodes, it goes to right and left lumbar lymph trunk, which goes to cisterna chyli, which goes to thoracic duct. But first, you have to say organ by organ where it drains, which means say uterus where it drains, cervix where it drains, vagina where it drains, prostate where it drains, bladder where it drains. Then say that all of them finally they have to reach either the pre-aortic or para-aortic lymph nodes. Then from pre-aortic and para-aortic lymph nodes, now they are going to cisterna chyli, then to thoracic duct.
This is topic 9.
This topic 9, yes. Then radiographic view, also we'll talk about them at the end, all of the radiographic view. Not for the gonads, because actually gonads are going to para-aortic. But you can say the pre-aortic lymph nodes, it's something for the bladder, for the uterus, the single structures. But because gonads, they are paired, right and left, so they are going to para-aortic lymph nodes. Then bones, ligaments, and joints on the wall of the true pelvis. This was your topic, yes. Bones, which means, yes, the bones. Yes, thank you. Thank you for keeping everything for you. Anyone who's on my right side, he will be, yes, having everything. Okay, so let's see. This, it will be the hip bone. How to describe it? It has ala of the ilium, and this we called it body of the ilium. And here we have the pubis, which has body of the pubis, superior pubic ramus, inferior pubic ramus. Here we have also the area of ischium. It's formed by body of the ischium, inferior pubic ischial ramus, and this we called it ischial tuberosity. And this we called it ischial spine, which dividing this into greater sciatic and lesser sciatic notch. Iliac, the ala of the iliac crest, it has iliac crest, and here we have the tubercle of the iliac crest. This is the one which we always say we have intertubercular plane, the plane which passing through this, the tubercle of the iliac crest. Okay, here we have anterior superior iliac spine, anterior inferior iliac spine, posterior superior iliac spine, posterior inferior iliac spine. And this we called it iliac tuberosity for having the sacroiliac joint, like this, sacroiliac joint. Then describe the sacrum. Sacrum, what it has? It has promontory of sacrum, ala of the sacrum, and this will be the body of the sacrum, which has what it has. Actually, it was the union between 5 sacral pieces and fused together. That's why we have the sacral foramens. They are 4, which were the intervertebral foramens. And this will be the coccyx. Coccyx even, it was 4 coccygeal pieces and fused together. Laterally here we have this, which is sacral tuberosity for articulation with ilium to form sacroiliac joint. Posteriorly, all of the sacral spines fused to form the sacral crest. And in the middle, we have a canal, which we call the sacral canal. At the end, it should be here, but actually this is not reliable. We should have like a window here. Over this canal, we have a window here, we call it sacral hiatus. Sacral hiatus will be the exit for the coda equina. What is coda equina? The lower coccygeal and sacral nerves from the spinal cord. We call them coda equina because they look like bony tail, look like the tail of the horse. Is it clear? So this, it will be the bones. Yes. These are still the posterior articular facets of the S1, because again, these are separate vertebrae, but they are fused. So each vertebra was having superior articular facet and inferior articular facets. So what is the inferior articular facets? Fused. But why this it's not fused? Because here still we have L5. So L5 it articulates here with this one. Now we called it superior articular facet of the whole sacrum, Okay? Then what you have? Ligaments. Which ligaments here? Here we have anterior longitudinal ligament. And here we have anterior lumbosacral ligament surrounding the joint, anterior lumbosacral ligament. And here we have 3 ligaments related to the sacroiliac joint. What they are? Anterior sacroiliac ligament, posterior sacroiliac ligament, interosseous sacroiliac ligament. Anterior, posterior, and interosseous sacroiliac ligament. They are covering all along the joint itself, the sacroiliac joint. Really, is it clear? Okay.
So these are all the ligaments?
These are all the ligaments. Of course, plus sacrotuberous and sacrospinous ligament, the ones which we always say they are completely dividing this space into 2 foramens, greater and lesser sciatic foramen. So again, what they are total: anterior longitudinal, anterior and posterior lumbosacral, anterior and middle and posterior sacroiliac, and here we have sacrotuberous and sacrospinous, from the sacrum and coccyx up to the ischial tuberosity, and from the sacrum and coccyx up to the ischial spine. Plus here even above the symphysis pubis, because if this other symphysis pubis, so here we have superior pubic ligament and inferior pubic ligament. Superior pubic and inferior pubic. It's okay, so these are all the ligaments of the pelvis. Then joints. Joints, we said lumbosacral joint, sacroiliac joint, sacrococcygeal joint, and symphysis pubis. And in each joint, of course, you have to know the type of the joint. For example, sacroiliac joint, it will be synovial joint. This symphysis pubis, it will be secondary cartilaginous joint. But for example, also the sacrococcygeal, secondary cartilaginous joint. Lumbosacral, it will be now the intervertebral foramen. So it will be very strong. It will be very strong joint. Okay? So it will be also one of the synovial joints. Then what we have? Common external and, am I right? Yes. 14. Common external and internal iliac arteries and branches of internal iliac artery. Common iliac, it doesn't give branches except internal and external iliac. Where? At the level of sacroiliac joint. Then external iliac, it gives what? It gives inferior epigastric and deep circumflex iliac. Inferior epigastric and deep circumflex iliac. Inferior epigastric, which goes upwards to meet with superior epigastric. Do you remember? To form the anastomosis around the umbilicus. But deep circumflex iliac, it goes towards the anterior superior iliac spine. From inferior epigastric, we have cremasteric artery. From inferior epigastric, we have very important branch, which we called it cremasteric artery. But what about the internal iliac artery? It gives many branches. Why? Because this is the main blood supply of the pelvis. Internal iliac artery, it subdivides to anterior and posterior division. Anterior division, it gives what? And posterior division, it gives what? Posterior division, it gives ILS. Memorize it by this. ILS. What is ILS? Iliolumbar, lateral sacral, and superior gluteal. Iliolumbar, lateral sacral, and superior gluteal. But anterior division, everything else. Inferior vesical, obliterated umbilical artery, uterine artery, middle rectal artery, and internal pudendal artery, the one which we talked about it. All of them, they will be branches from anterior division.
Can you draw it?
For drawing, it will be difficult because they are like many. For example, when we say superior vesical artery, they are not one artery. They are multiple arteries coming from the obliterated umbilical artery. When we say inferior vesical artery, also it's not one. They are multiple branches supplying the bladder. It's okay? So they are not one single branches one by one like this. But let's make them together. For example, the posterior divisions, which is like much easier. Posterior division, it gives ILS. Iliolumbar, lateral sacral, and superior gluteal. Iliolumbar, it gives which branches?
Lumbar.
Iliolumbar, iliac and lumbar branches. Take care because this was question, and that's why he failed because of this, one of my students. Because of this, branches of iliolumbar, it was iliac and lumbar, but he doesn't know. So, iliac, it goes to where? To anterior superior iliac spine. But lumbar, it goes to where? It anastomosis with L4, which is branch from aorta. Okay, then we have lateral sacral. Where they go? They are going through the sacral foramens. There are 4 arteries going through the sacral foramens. Then superior gluteal, which goes to supply all of gluteal muscles. Now I'm talking about artery. So one artery is enough for all of muscles, not like the nerves. In the nerves, we have superior and inferior gluteal nerve. Superior gluteal nerve for gluteus medius and minimus, but inferior gluteal nerve for only gluteus maximus. Now superior gluteal artery, all of them. Inferior gluteal artery, all of them. Artery is enough to supply many things. Then anterior division branches like what? Obturator artery. It runs through the obturator canal. If this obturator foramen, we said it's covered by obturator membrane, and this will be obturator canal. So the obturator artery, it was coming from here, from internal iliac, and it goes through the obturator canal to reach where? It reaches mostly the lower limb. It reaches mostly the lower limb. And it gives which branches? It gives the pubic branches, femoral branches, and all of this. Then we have inferior gluteal artery, which also goes to supply the gluteal muscles. Internal pudendal artery, which we said, do you remember? It was running from here, from internal iliac, then it runs greater sciatic foramen, lesser sciatic foramen, pudendal canal, deep perineal pouch, till it reaches the end. The one which was running was pudendal nerve inside the pudendal canal. Obliterated umbilical artery. So look at here, you have artery, comes from this, from internal iliac, and it goes to the umbilicus. So you have artery, if this is our body, you have artery comes from here up to your umbilicus. So what this artery? The umbilical artery. So do we need it anymore? Just keep this area open. But this area, okay, obliterated. So can you see the proximal part? It's still patent. Why? It gives the superior vesical artery to the bladder. Superior vesical artery. But this one, no, it will be ligament. Medial umbilical ligament. Medial umbilical ligament. Okay? Then inferior vesical artery. From internal iliac itself, we have inferior vesical artery to supply the bladder from down. Actually, they are group of arteries, but only in males. Very good. Why? In females, it will be vaginal artery. Excellent. So inferior vesical artery in males it goes to the bladder because there is no any other choice. But in females it found itself between bladder and vagina. So where it goes? It goes to vagina to supply the vagina itself. But the bladder it will be supplied by superior vesical, and that's enough. Okay. What about the uterine artery? Also it will be branched from internal iliac, and it runs on each wall of the uterus like snake, like this, till it reaches the ovary. Do you remember the course of the uterine artery? It was coming from here, and it goes to the medial to be on the each side of the uterus. Then it goes on each side of the uterus like a snake. Then it goes to the fallopian tube and the ovary. Okay. Then mid-rectal artery. From internal iliac directly you have mid-rectal artery to supply the middle part of the rectum. Is it clear? These are the branches of internal iliac artery. Really, it's so much important. Internal iliac artery. Ovarian artery, they are now branches from aorta, the gonadal. Ovarian artery, which means gonadal. Ovarian or testicular, they are gonadal, so they are from aorta. Why? Yes, the anastomose, because now we have this uterus. Oops, sorry. This uterus now, and this uterus, the ovary. So here we have this uterine artery. It runs like this, like a snake on each side of the uterus. And it goes up to here to meet with ovarian artery, which was coming from the suspensory ligament of the ovary. And it goes here to supply the ovary, and it anastomoses with it. Like in this diagram, this uterine artery, this red, and it meets with this red artery, ovarian artery, to form this anastomosis, and even supplying the fallopian tube itself. This from aorta, but this from internal iliac. This from aorta and this from internal iliac. Is it clear? Okay. So what else?
I have a question.
Yes.
Iliac, is it the same thing like the ilium?
Oh, same. Yes, yes. Ilium or iliac? Iliac when you make like adjective for something. Iliac fossa, iliac crest, iliac some. But ilium, generally, this is a space. Yes.